If you didn't know her name before, many of you know it now. Halima Aden is potentially setting out to be the first woman to represent Somalia at Miss Universe. Some of you might know Halima because in 2016 she competed for the title of Miss Minnesota USA and became the first woman to wear a hijab in any of the Miss USA pageants. Maybe in any pageant, I'm not 100% sure on that, but she's been making headlines lately because she is leaving the fashion industry because she has felt over the years that by being unique, by being different, by being representation for Muslim women wearing a hijab, she has had to compromise her beliefs because the industry has tried to change who she is. So they want to bring her in to showcase diversity, representation, but then they've been trying to change who she is to kind of maybe more fit what they want her to be, and she has said that's enough. I just want to say, you go girl. This is amazing to see because so many people would see her story and think, wow, what an inspiration, which most definitely she has been. She has been on the cover of Allure, different countries' Vogue magazine. She became the first hijab wearing model on the cover of Vogue Arabia, Allure, British Vogue, and in 2018 she became a UNICEF ambassador, which is obviously so incredible. She's done so many amazing things. She has had a lot of firsts, and she now wants to be the first woman to represent Somalia at Miss Universe. We've seen a few different things where she has said like, watch out contestants, here I come. So I don't know if she's going to be competing this upcoming year at Miss Universe. It would be amazing to see that. I don't want to confirm that because I don't know for sure. I haven't read for sure, but here's a little bit more information on Halima. She's a Somali American fashion model. She rose to fame by being the first woman to wear a hijab in the Miss Minnesota USA pageant. She was a semi-finalist. She did not actually win, but following the pageant, she received national attention and was signed to IMG Models. Funny enough, IMG owns Miss USA and Miss Universe, so she actually became more famous, more successful in terms of modeling than most title holders in the national Miss USA pageants, or than many Miss USAs, period. She also went on to be a judge at Miss USA 2017, which I find kind of hilarious because she was judging the national pageant when she didn't even win the state pageant. So like, it's just so cool to see that she had this, not even like failure by any stretch of the imagination, but she didn't win that state title, but then the next year she's there as a judge for Miss USA. I thought that was so cool to see. But as I said, she was the first model to wear hijab and burkina in the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue, and in June 2017 she became the first hijab wearing model on the cover of Vogue Arabia, Allure, and British Vogue. She was actually born in a refugee camp in Kenya, and she moved to Minnesota at the age of 6. In her stories on Instagram, she shares that she was asked to show up, showcase diversity and inclusion, but upon showing up, she was often asked to change who she was to fit the mold of what these different photo shoots, different magazines wanted her to be. Her stories, you guys, you have to go see her stories. She has them saved in a highlight on her Instagram profile, and it's definitely worth a watch. I'll show some of them here, I'll read you some of them, but it's just super inspiring because once again, it's another situation, another story that what we see on social media, what we see online, isn't necessarily the full case. So she has here, this was my first ever fashion campaign, and it was thanks to Bad Girl Riri, Rihanna, sis let me wear the hijab I brought to set. This is the girl I'm returning to, the real Halima. As I've said many times, being a minority inside of a minority inside of a minority is never easy. Being a hijabi is truly a journey with lots of highs and lows. With that being said, my mother, who has been pleading with me for years to open my eyes, thanks to COVID and the break away from the industry, I've finally realized where I went wrong in my personal hijab story. This is the hijab I grew up wearing 17 long years, and I wouldn't change it for the world, but ironically I would go on to do just that, change it for the world. Keep in mind, when I grew up in Minnesota after fleeing Kenya, I had amazing teachers like Mrs. Sotner, but I was also bullied by a bunch of little white kids for simply wearing a hijab. Honestly, looking back now, those kids were just shook. Imagine little Johnny coming for me when speaking with an accent when he could barely speak one language and I was learning my third. But I didn't have confidence back then, so I just went home and cried. Might have called him a couple of not so nice words in Somali. And then she has her mom here. She says, says, my mom asked me to quit modeling a long time ago. I wish I wasn't so defensive. She was literally the only person who had the purest intentions for me. Then she shares a bunch of different photos that she did, different photo shoots. This is from American Eagle, and she said, I used this to justify a lot, as if we ever needed these brands to represent hijabis. They need us, not the other way around. But I was just so desperate back then for any representation that I lost touch with who I was. Here she's got like jeans on her head, and she's like, but this isn't even my style, never was. Why did I let them put jeans on my head? Anyway, she ends up going through a bunch of the photo shoots she did, a bunch of the appearances that she did, and she basically says what she was really feeling or really thinking, but that the pressure to be part of the industry and to do what other people wanted her to do just allowed her to do these photos or wear these certain things because she just wanted to be part of it. She wanted to be that representation, and then ended up compromising her beliefs and who she is at her core. It's really cool because she says as well that like IMG and industry came for her. She didn't go seeking the industry. And so I think it's so amazing that she's finally speaking her mind, giving us light into what this has been like for her, what the journey's been like for her. Of course, I'm sure there's a lot of highs, a lot of celebrations within her journey, but I really think it's important that she's showing what it's really been like for her. And if she really does represent Somalia at Miss Universe, I think that would be so cool to see. A lot of people are saying, could she be the next Miss Universe? So how incredible would that be to see a woman representing Somalia for the first time at Miss Universe, wearing a hijab, being who she truly is, being that representation of herself and for women around the world. So thank you so much, Halima, for standing up for yourself, for being you, and for allowing us to see what this was really like for you behind the scenes, because I think it's so important for people to speak their truth and allow us to know that it isn't always what it seems on the outside. So best of luck if you decide to compete at Miss Universe. I'm sure we'll be talking a lot more about your journey, and thank you so much for just being you. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think that she's really going to represent Somalia at Miss Universe? Are we really going to see this for the first time? I think it would be so incredible. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you next time.